Welcome to Survival Theory. Yaupon holly. It's a species of holly. It's native to the southeastern United States. Scientific name is Ilex vomitoria. It was named that because they believe the Native Americans, formerly known as Indians, made a ritual drink from the tea leaves, or yaupon leaves, and then would vomit afterwards, but that's a whole different subject. Now, if you look up yaupon on the internet, Google it, look for YouTube videos, you're going to find mainly making tea from the leaves. Now, the leaves have caffeine, and it's believed that they're the only plant in North America that has caffeine. The caffeine is equivalent to green or black tea. And not only do they contain caffeine, but they have the antioxidants, the ones known as polyphenols. So it does have some nutritional value, plus the pick-me-up of caffeine. So you'll find that use everywhere. And you will also find the use of using it in landscaping as an ornamental bush, because it can be shaped easily. It's very dense, it's an evergreen. Those are great uses. But what about survival? What about bushcrafting? Does it play any role in those? It certainly does. Let's talk about that. Now, if you're trapping or hunting for food in a survival situation, in an area like this, it's hard to tell where the animals are going to be if you're not familiar with the area, just moving through. One thing to keep in mind is a lot of animals eat these berries when they're red. Birds, armadillos. I would never eat an armadillo, or would I? Raccoons. A lot of animals eat these berries when they're red. So it might be a good idea. You could use this as bait, or set your snare or trap in an area where there's red berries. Maybe throw some down near your trap. So that's one use. Have you lost or broken your hiking stick? Or maybe you forgot to bring one? Yaupon makes a great impromptu hiking stick. You can easily find one long enough, strong enough, thick enough to get the job done. Now I use my Laplander just for a smooth top. I just clean it up. That's a pretty good walking stick. Made in about a minute. It's pretty strong. If I preferred to hold the wider end, which I think I do, Cut that top off, get it square. There, I like that better. It's already pretty smooth at the top. Great, now I got a walking stick. When you need to build a fire, you construct a bird's nest to get the fire going. Look around in the Yaupon, you might find a real bird's nest, which is a great shortcut. Look at all those tiny, tiny dry twigs, branches. Now that's how you build a bird's nest. But why stop at one? You might need another one for later. Now I've got a spare. What I use Yaupon for the most, tiny sticks and twigs for fire building. Now what's great about Yaupon is it will retain these dead limbs and tiny, tiny sticks. Even for a few years, they won't fall off like they will on oak trees and other trees. I mean, these are dry, ready to go up. Look how thin those are. And gathering them is easy. They fold right up. Handful of kindling in seconds. This stuff is great for that. Now it's about 100 degrees today. The humidity is very high. It is hot and it feels hot. The sweat is not evaporating. Getting very thirsty. Now in a desperate situation you can put bags around tree limbs to try to get moisture that's evaporating from the leaves. But what about Yaupon? I've never tried that with Yaupon. Let's see if we can get any moisture from the Yaupon. I'm not going to tie a bag around it. I've got a small Ziploc here, an old Ziploc. I'm going to put a bunch of leaves and limbs in here. We'll set it out in the sun and see if we get any moisture out of it. Now I'll go set this out in the sun and see what happens. All right. Set that in the sun. I'm going back to the shade. Now I have experience in fencing, but lumber, nails, barbed wire fencing, chicken wire. I watched a David Canterbury video the other day doing a bushcraft style fence. I thought it was pretty neat. And I tell you, with all this Yaupon around, I could fence all day and not even notice any deforestation around me. And I could cut pickets from 2 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet, however long I needed, because there's plenty of Yaupon available. So let's add that to another use. Great for fencing. Well, the clouds have started to roll in, so it's time to check the bag. And wow, that's a lot of moisture. It's browned a lot of the leaves. There's actually quite a bit of water in there. Wonder if that's a shortcut for making tea. Get those leaves, getting all the moisture out. Oh yeah, it's dripping with water. That's a pretty good sip. It's a good way to get water passively. It works. Alright, well I found a piece, Yaupon. It's pretty straight. Not too bad, it's got a little curve in it. I'm going to try to make a bow. I'll just use my machete and see if I can whip up something real quick. I've already got an old bowstring, so that's a great help. Alright, so made a bow out of Yaupon. I put a notch up top. I even have a little arrow notch right there to rest the arrow on. It took longer than I thought. It took about 15 minutes. I want to kind of get it right. I put the arrow rest in there, notched the ends real good. But that's close to 35-40 pounds of pull. I'll need now some arrows and a little practice. Well, I was going to build a sling, but I don't have any elastic material with me. But get the idea. Well, thanks for watching Survival Theory. Hope you had fun, learned something. I had fun. I learned something. Please share, like, subscribe. Ooh, it's hot today. It's close to 100 degrees again. So I'm going to go build a Yaupon shelter and relax. I'll catch you next time.